Okay guys, today I'm going to decide whether or not I'm going to keep or sell my Redseven Leviathan. Spoiler alert, I'm keeping it, and here's why. Welcome to another edition of Keep It or Sell It. This is where I go through each one of my amplifiers and decide on whether or not I'm going to keep the amp or sell it. Now, I pretty much gave away my answer in the intro, but I mean, there's good reasons for it. I'm definitely keeping this amplifier. It's by far one of the best amplifiers I've ever played or owned. These amps are hand-built in Italy, and they are absolutely amazing. So basically with this amplifier, you get two channels that are both very unique from each other, but they also blend together very well. You know how you get some amplifiers and it's got one channel on it that you would never use and the other channel's like the money channel? Well, with this amplifier, both channels are amazing, and it's really hard to decide on which one you would prefer over the other. So depending on what I'm craving for that day, I'll play either one of them, or a lot of times I'll play both of them. Let's switch to the amp cam here and see what we got. So basically you have two channels with independent EQs and volumes, and you also have two master volumes, which I love. Two master volumes so that you can adjust each channel accordingly, and like if you want to use channel 2 for your lead channel, assign master 2 to that, and then you'll have you know, a volume boost for your leads. And so basically it's a very flexible amplifier in that way. On the back of the amplifier is the depth and presence knobs. So basically with this amplifier you have two high gain channels on it. It doesn't have a clean channel, but both channels, like I said earlier, are amazing. With channel 1 you have two modes. You have like a lower gain mode, but it's still got a lot of gain in it, and if you want more, you just hit this hot switch here and it gives you another gain stage. So, you know, if you're playing like classic rock or whatever, you might want to use the lower gain mode, and you hit the hot switch for the higher gain mode stuff, or like a lead boost. You know, if you want to have like more gain for a lead on this channel, you could do that as well. I mean, it's just a lot of options with this amplifier. And you also have a bright switch for each channel, and it's pretty subtle, but it does add a little more texture, a little more top end to it. It's very, very subtle though. And you basically, this is how I have it dialed in. And the magic with this amplifier on the back with the presence knob is, what you want to do is just set it around 3 o'clock. That's really where this amplifier really wakes up and gets that really nice top end. Kind of like the EVH Stealth, you know, the 100 series anyways. You have the presence at 3 o'clock on that amplifier, and it really comes to life then. And it's the same with this. So let's go ahead and put this in the regular, like lower gain, normal gain mode, I guess. And let's just hear what it sounds like. And I'll start monkeying around with the knobs. I am boosting this amplifier with the Redseven Alchemy overdrive pedal, and I'm using the drive side of the pedal. It has two sides. It has a drive side and a clean boost side, and you can actually combine those if you want as well, and put the boost either before or after the drive side when you combine them, and get all kinds of different options when it comes to boosting your amplifiers. It's a freaking amazing pedal. I just reviewed it the other day, and I'm serious, I love this pedal. So I'm just using the drive side today, and so let's go ahead and listen to channel 1, and I'll mess around with the knobs, and this is in the regular lower gain mode. All right, so that's the regular mode in channel 1. So now let's go ahead and see what happens when I hit the hot button. You'll hear that gain stage kick in and it gets more aggressive. This channel is so likable. It's just very, very even-keeled. There's nothing weird or quirky about it. It's just a really great, straightforward, high-gain channel that just sounds incredible, you know. And as you notice, with a lot of their amps, like you can take the knobs to pretty extreme areas as far as the higher end frequencies go, such as the treble and with the presence on the back. So, you know, with this amplifier, you definitely want to dial it in with your ears, not your eyes, because you're going to put these knobs in some weird places, you know, compared to what you usually do with amplifiers. I mean, so let's set this up at noon. I'll show you what it sounds like at noon. Okay, so it sounds really good. There's a lot of potential there, but it's a little dark. So let's go ahead and just dial it into at least what I think are good settings. So thick. It's very, very thick and beefy, but aggressive. It's just a slight bit of roundness on the top end, but I actually like that. It's just, like I said, very even keeled, you know, and it does have plenty of edge, texture, and aggression on the top end as well. But there's really nothing about channel 1 that, you know, anybody wouldn't like. You know, it's just, like I said, it's a very likable channel. Very pleasing to the ears. I'm using it on my solo album right now, and it's one of my favorite rhythm channels. I mean, it's just so thick and beefy and aggressive all at the same time. Very, very well balanced, very well dialed in amplifier. Now, the thing is when I bought this, I was a little concerned because you guys know, if you've watched the channel long enough, I had the Twin Jet by Bogner on here about a year ago or so. And I hated that amp. It just sounded really weird. It sounded like an AM radio. It was just really weird sounding amplifier. No offense to the people that own those. It's just, to my ears, I didn't like it. And when I looked into this amplifier, I talked to them about it, and they were like, well, it's kind of our take on the Bogner Ubershaw. And I was like, oh, God. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this, you know? And so I was like, you know, and then I had further conversations with him, you know, and I was like, well, you know, how far off from the Bogner is it? He goes, oh, it's not the same amp at all. He goes, it's just, that was my inspiration, you know, to build an amplifier that was kind of inspired by that. And I was like, okay, so I'll take a chance, you know, and buy this. And I'll tell you what, man, this thing is everything that the Ubershaw wishes it was. And I can honestly tell you that because I've played the Ubershaw, at least the twin jet version, and it's nothing like this. This is like I said, everything the twin jet anyways should have been. This is an amazing, amazing amplifier. And you can do custom stuff with this amplifier. If you watch John Brown's channel, he got a custom one built. And honestly, I thought about doing that, but I was like, what if I don't like it and I spend extra money on all this custom stuff and then I'm stuck with it or can't sell it or whatever. And I wish I would have done the custom stuff now because, man, this amp's going to be welded to my shelf. It's never going out of this house. I mean, I'm going to keep it forever. And I really wish I would have did the custom build now, you know, especially with the steampunk thing that he did with John. I mean, that was freaking awesome. All right, so now I'm going to switch from channel 1 in hot mode to channel 2 and just show you how different they are. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that now. Holy shit. Now that channel is a lot more edgy. It's voiced differently, as you heard. It's got a completely different voicing to it, but it's tighter and it has more of an edge to it. So it sounds to me like, anyways, like, I don't know what he did, but it just, my ears are telling me that he took a little bit of the roundness out of it and made it a little sharper, a little more edge to it. And but it's not in anything bad. I mean, it just sounds incredible. It's a great lead channel, you know. It's really good for leads. So if you want to use this amplifier, you know, like for, you know, channel 1 for rhythms and channel 2 for leads, you could totally do that. And the voicing of it and the edge and the extra gain and the gain structure on it is just amazing for leads. But you can also use this for a rhythm channel as well, or both, you know. So that's what I mean. This is kind of like 2 amps in one, but 2 amazing amps in one. I mean, he could have easily sold, you know, each one of these channels as its own amplifier, and I would probably want to buy both because they both channels sound amazing. So I really think that there's a lot of value in this amplifier because, again, it's hand built. And you have 2 awesome, like really, really good channels that are just so likable and so amazing in this amp, you know. And like I said, I hate it. Like when, okay, so I had the Mark V, right? The Mark V 90. And channel 2 and that amplifier is completely worthless in my opinion. I would never use that channel. It sucked. It was like I could have drop kicked that channel right out of the amplifier and never missed it. It was complete flyover country. In fact, while I'm flying over it, I would open the sewage from the plane and just dump all the sewage on it. That's how bad I hated that freaking thing. So, and you're paying for it when you get the amplifier. You're paying for that channel that you hate. But with this amplifier, you have 2 channels that you're happy to pay for because both of them are just stupid good. I have nothing bad to say about either one of these channels. They're kind of, I just call them no-brainer channels, you know. So I love the fact that The amp is versatile, but it's versatile in a way that actually works. They didn't give you like this lame-ass channel on one side and an amazing one on the other. They gave you two amazing channels. All right, I'm going to stop gushing about this amp, so let's go ahead and get back to the playing, and I'll screw around with the knobs. So much freaking aggression. Oh my God, it's just crazy. I feel like a cowboy sitting on top of a bull getting ready to, you know, get let out of the gate and get bucked off and shot to the moon. You know, I mean, this amp is just raging. It's just so much rage and aggression, but it sounds great, and there's so much articulation on the top end, and that texture that I'm talking about is almost tactile. You can feel it in the air when you're playing. It's just ridiculous, you know. So yeah, I mean, this amp, I'm telling you, if you have any doubt in your mind on whether or not you would like this amplifier, I'm telling you right now, just go get one. It's just so damn good. I would equate it with the EVH Stealth Red channel as far as aggression goes, at least on channel 2. It's got a ton of aggression, and as you heard, lots of articulation. There's no horrible sounds coming out of it, and as you can see here, you know, with the knobs, I mean, this is pretty much like the sweet spot. Now with the mids, what I found is it brings the amp a lot forward when you bump the mids up to around here, and it rounds it out a little bit at the top, and depending on your taste, you might like that. I like them about right here, and I don't feel like I'm scooping the mids. I feel like it's got a lot of mids in it, and just the tolerance on the knob right here, this is what works for me. Plenty of low end, so you can actually bring the bass down. And there's so much damn gain in this amplifier. I mean, you can have it right here. Even when I had it down here, it was really ridiculous. So, you know, and if I was using this amplifier for, or at least this channel for lead and rhythm, this would probably be a good sweet spot, or even here. You know, let's find a sweet spot with it real quick. 1 second. That is a perfect spot for just a rhythm channel. I can't believe how much gain is in there. And you can see, like, from here to here, it really filled up and got saturated and fuller. Down here, I mean, it was okay, but it was a little choked. You know, it had that more top end kind of thing. But when you bring it up to about right here, all the other frequencies start coming in and it fills up more, and it just, feels better too. But let's go ahead and just dial it in a little bit more. Okay, so even with the gain up pretty high, it didn't fall apart. It definitely got a little muddy, but I think the gain structure on this amplifier is still very articulate. I mean, there's really no reason to put it past probably like 1 o'clock, but if you needed it for, more gain for leads, it would be fine for that. But for rhythms, you'd want to keep it probably below 1 o'clock. So depending on your playing style and the type of riffs that you're playing and all that kind of stuff, you'll have the gain at different places. One thing I'm learning is I've been learning a lot of Jakey Lee's stuff. I've been learning Bark at the Moon, and with that particular song, and I'm not going to play it because I'm not good enough at it yet, but in that particular song, high gain is your enemy, because there's a lot of crazy intricate things that he's doing there, and in order for that stuff to come out, you need the gain at a minimal level. You need enough to be aggressive, but not too much to hide all the intricacies in that song. So depending on what you're playing, like if you're playing a song like that with a ton of little nuance and intricate things going on in there, you'll want less gain. But if you're doing stuff like what I do, because I catch flack sometimes on the show, you use too much gain, but the thing is for the riffs that I play, I'm not doing the stuff that Jakey Lee does. I'm doing my stuff, and my stuff is a lot of single note stuff where I want that really nice thick saturation, and I'm doing chords and stuff, but there are songs that I do some pretty intricate things on, but not in the same vein of like what Jake does. I mean, my stuff's it's a different kind of intricate, I guess, and I'm definitely not equating myself with him. He's a million miles better than me, but I'm just saying, like, for what I do, I can get away with using a little more gain, but I do recognize that when I'm playing other stuff, like Van Halen and stuff like that, I want to back that gain down, because it's more fitting and more suitable for those types of riffs. Anyway, so all right, let's do this real quick. I'm going to go ahead and turn the boost pedal off, and I'll show you what this channel sounds like with it off, and then I'll kick it on, and you'll hear it turn on. In fact, it's not on camera, but you'll see me reach over and turn it on just so you can see it. I'm on channel. You know what? Let's go to channel 1 in hot mode. You know what? Let's go to channel 1 in the regular mode, and do it without and with the boost, and I'll do that same channel in hot mode without and with the boost, and then we'll do that same thing on channel 2. Yeah, it takes the boost like a champ. So let's go ahead and go to hot mode, do the same thing. Boost is off. I'll kick it on after I play the first riff. Yeah, freaking awesome. Still remains very thick and articulate, and I had the gain at like 2 o'clock when I did that. So now let's go to channel 2, and I'll turn the boost off, and you'll hear a lot more edge with this channel. You know what? I'll switch from channel 1 to channel 2 with the boost off, and you'll hear how much more edgy channel 2 is. Yeah, it's definitely edgier, it's tighter, a little more responsive. So depending on your taste, you may or may not use a boost with that channel. I boost everything. That's just the way it is. Get over it. So let's go ahead and play this channel, which is channel 2, without and then with the boost. Big difference. Definitely a lot of gain in that channel. In fact, I could probably back the gain off just a hair, or adjust the boost accordingly, you know. But either way, there's a lot of options with this amplifier, and if it's not aggressive enough for you, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I think this amp snorted a whole line of coke before it got shipped here. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So much rage, and just, it's crazy, you know. It's just a very articulate, awesome amplifier, and I'm happy to have it on the album because I just feel like the tone, the overall tone, especially on channel 1 for rhythms, is just so damn good. And I'll be using channel 2 for rhythms as well on the album, and so far I've been real happy with both channels. And like I said, either channel works for me. Depending on my mood or what I'm craving that day, I'll pick one over the other, or a lot of times, like I said, I'll do both. I just think it's just such a great amp. So if you haven't considered one of these, and this isn't an ad for, you know, Redseven. I'm not getting paid for this. This is my amp. I bought it. But I'm just telling you as a YouTuber and, you know, maybe your YouTube buddy, if you are looking for an amplifier that's you know, it's unique, it's hand built, it's a boutique amplifier, but it's different. It's definitely a different, very unique amplifier with 2 amazing channels that will suit your needs no matter what. I think the Redseven Leviathan is definitely a good amp to get, you know, and if you pair it with a great overdrive pedal, depending on, like I said, if you like boost pedals or not, I think you'll really like it even more. Again, I used the Alchemy Overdrive by Redseven, which is also hand-built, and it's just an amazing pedal, and I'm really digging this pedal big time. So anyways, yeah, I'm keeping this amp. I just think it's amazing, and they do custom stuff. You know, if you saw John Brown's, I mean, they tricked it up with all this steampunk stuff, and it looked amazing. But, or you could just get, you know, I mean, it looks pretty kick-ass like that, too. It's a killer-looking amp, so... You know, so depending on what you want to do, I mean, you might want to do the custom options. They got the wood panels, they got steampunk, they can do all kinds of crazy stuff for you. So anyways, well, hey, thanks for hanging out with me and for watching the video. I appreciate it. And to all my Patreon supporters and subscribers, thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click the bell so that you can be notified every time I either go live or come out with a new episode. Well, I got a lot more stuff coming up for you guys, and I'll see you on the next one.